Um, so John, thinking about some of the stuff we were talking about earlier in terms of employees and their long-term potential and this concept of a flight path, um, why is it so critical for companies to paint that picture and have something like that that they can put in front of the folks on their team to show them where, what their potential and where they're going might be at the company?
When I think about flight path, it's really, I mean, if we're going to be a legitimate trade, which we are, if we're going to coach people, educate our people that this is a place where you can make it a career, flight path is necessary. And when I talk to young people, when you're looking to get into this green industry, make sure the company has a legitimate system. And I'm not saying it's got to be Aspire, but a legitimate system. Don't go work for a company that only has a few trucks. Go to somebody like a Stay Green. Land Care, historically, they have a flight path. Here's what you have to do to become from a laborer to a crew leader. If you want to become a manager, here's where we go. Um, from a manager, you could become a branch manager. Here's how you earn a company vehicle. And when people see that, they have something to work towards. And one thing that's cool about the flight path is if there is an open position, maybe I'm a crew leader and I really want to be a production manager. I interview for the job. One thing I learned that I think is really important is that they don't meet the qualifications now, or there's a reason they're not moving into that position now, helping them understand the why and what they need to work on and demonstrate to get there. I think companies like the Stay Green are always going to scale. There's always opportunity there, and having that flight path with a company that is scaling is critical in helping people understand it. So there's it's out there that this is who you can be and who you can achieve at this company. So why go somewhere else?
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. And that's one of the things I was just going to mention real quick. I think, uh, you know, we mentioned earlier that people talk about employees leaving for, 50 cents or, 25 cents, or we hear all these, sort of mind-blowing stories. And, one of the ways that you can combat that is through having these flight paths. So for a lot of folks, they're looking elsewhere because they don't know where they're going and they see a next step at a different organization, you know, rather than having them only have the option of going to look elsewhere for that next step. Why not provide the transparency and certainty internally so that they don't feel like they need to even do that looking? And I think the second thing about it is that, for in the industry, so many of the roles that are challenging for so many companies are actually sort of like in the middle, and so if you can take the folks who are like the entry level and give them a clear path into the middle, that could be like a really good, strategy for, addressing that gap in the sort of like middle layers of the business. I don't know, Chris, how are you all thinking about this concept of flight paths and growth for your team?
Yeah, it's interesting. So when the question arises, well, why do you want to grow? Why do you want to be bigger, right? That comes up a lot. It's asked from outsiders to a lot of owner operators, right? And so, um, and the response typically is, well, if you're not growing, you're dying. And it's because you're losing traction on your good people going elsewhere looking for opportunities elsewhere because you don't have the growth to support their personal desires and growth. And so we've made career growth a visible part of our culture. And so every new employee and existing employee gets to see our career roadmap, which we have published out there. And not only is it do you climb vertically, but you can go horizontal, right? From different departments, you can go from field into field services, which is administration. So you're not bound by the similar tasks within the organization. You can move around the organization. And as we've grown now, it's easier for us to really promote this because there are more opportunities now when you're a little bit bigger, when you have more size and scale. And so We've been promoting internally more than ever before. It's really exciting to see people that were once crew leaders now running production teams as a high performing production manager, or even people that have come in as an enhancement crew member and now becoming an account manager to be a client facing account manager. It's really neat. It's really paid off. And so, we hire on competency and commitment, and we manage up through these growth patterns. And so we are internally supporting funding educational tracks, whether it be for an arborist license or a pest control license, things of that nature. And so we're investing in education for our team members to help them get to that next level in our organization.